Deep in the ocean, an orca pod is on the hunt. But these aren't your average orcas. These guys are organized.
Marketing team, did you get those social media posts scheduled for the SEAL migration?
Aye, Captain. We even have an automated notification for all pod managers when they go live.
They use Monday.com to keep their teamwork sharp, their communication clear, and their goals in sight. Monday.com. For whatever you run, even orcas. Go to Monday.com to dive deeper.
Regen auf mein Kopf. Hinter via Deckbus ist die kleine Fahrt im Top. Geht mir kein Sach mit, die Tropfen.
Hey everyone, welcome to Kill Me Now with Judy Gold. I'm your host, your beautiful, tall host, Judy Gold. And this week, I'm so excited. We have just a hilarious comedian. I love her, I didn't really know her before. I mean, I know her because I see her at the clubs, but getting to know her and doing research on her, it made me even love her even more. Jackie Fabulous is our guest today and next week, and she's amazing. What a life. She made me laugh, and she's just a wonderful, great role model. So for women everywhere, pretty much. I want you to sit back, if you can. I want you to relax, if you can. And I want you to enjoy part one of Kill Me Now with Jackie Fabulous. Hey, everyone! We have an exciting guest today. Now, I just have to say, I love funny women, and I love accomplished women, I love smart women, and I love women comics. And I not only love this woman, I love her fucking name, even though it's not her birth name. Not her birth name. Because her birth name is Jacqueline J. What is it?
Champagne.
Champagne, yeah.
Yes.
Champagne. But we all know her as the one and only Jackie Fabulous is here, ladies and gentlemen, and Dave Hams.
Hey, everyone.
Jack Hay. Okay. First of all, you are playing with your necklace because that is an OCD thing that also bugs the shit out of me because they're entangled. But we need to discuss your nails. Like, who the fuck? I always see women with those nails, and I'm like, A, how do they wipe their ass? B, how do they pick their nose? C, how do they type? I really need to know how you, like, all right, first of all, you're wiping your ass, right?
Yeah, no problem. I get extra clean too. Like, these are like spoons.
Oh God, gross. Okay, so but you put the toilet paper in, and do you use the nails to wipe?
Yes, the nails become an extension of your actual fingers.
Okay.
And because the acrylics are so hard, they're like you can't take them off. They become. I have extra long fingers, and when I have to poop, I'll show you.
Okay. This is okay. So there's a tissue or a napkin. Tissue. Yeah.
And you take it and wrap it around. And then boom.
Oh, that's good. Okay. How do you type with those fingers?
I type if I practice and force myself about 90 words a minute because I come from corporate America.
Yes, I know. We're going to discuss all that. But
yes.
Do you use the nail or the finger? Because sometimes
nail.
You do nail. You do nail. Wow.
Yep, JCKIE.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Do they ever get caught on anything? And you're like, oh shit. Like what? All right. Here's my real question. What is something you can't do because of those nails?
ATMs are a challenge. Anything where you got to put your card in real quick and slide it out.
Right.
But they sell mechanisms that I bought one on Instagram that's this catcher on your debit card. You put on the end and pull it out. So debit cards and ATMs are a challenge. The airport, sometimes we got to put your card in for ID is a challenge.
Right.
Other than that, I've had acrylic long nails since I was 17. For my prom, I got them. And I'm like, I love them. And I just turned out to be a really, really type A female who's a real girly girl.
Yeah, you're a total girly girl. Now, you cannot, I'm just going to say this, and listeners, forgive me, but you can't be a lesbian with those fucking acrylic nails.
I have had lovely ladies say to me, girl, I would never let you.
Yeah,
I would never let you, you know.
Yeah, you can't go in there with that. Okay. So that's all I have. That is my one obsession that, I was just like, I've always wanted to ask someone, like, because it's a part of you, it's a part of your body, and it is different, you know? Okay, whatever. Mm-hmm. So, Jackie, let's just start from let's start at the very beginning. So you're from the Bronx. You have a mother, Carol. You have a sister,
Jessica. Yes.
And your father unfortunately passed away. What was his? Lincoln. Oh, I love that name.
I know. He's the only man I've met besides Lincoln. Whose name is Lincoln.
Oh no, my friend, I have a friend who named her son Lincoln. And
really?
He turned out pretty great. And she's pretty great. Okay. So you grew up in El Bronxo. So your parents are immigrants from Jamaica.
Yes.
How old were they when they came over here?
I don't know. And when I ask them questions about the past, well, no, they got married in Jamaica, and I think they came here in the 60s. I was born in 71.
Right.
So they came here in the 60s. My father came first. He was a cop in Jamaica, came here, got a job at a hospital, and my mom he came first, my mom came after, but in the 60s. I really am positive that it's around there.
So they were married in Jamaica.
Yes.
And then he was a cop, but then he came and worked in a hospital. No, he never did copping again, or he never.
No, it's very common in immigrant families for people to get married in their home country and then send off one to go get work in America. So it's one of those kind of things where he came
to make money. And did he send money back?
I have no idida. I don't know what they did.
Oh my God. Jackie, I need all this information. And then
I don't think no, he didn't. He worked as a porter in a hospital where you help. There's no money in there. And then my mom moved from Jamaica. She lived in Cleveland for a while. She was a nanny. So they were, butt ass poor immigrants who just lived in different states for a while until they found a home in the Bronx.
That's crazy. People don't realize. Here's a story of so many people who come to America and love this country, and work their fucking asses off and have children who are successful and give them a better life. And these fucking pieces of shit, GOP motherfucking assholes, I can't. All right. So anyway, I get so mad that because that's what this country's all about.
I know.
Fucking assholes. Okay. So you grew up in the Bronx. What part of the Bronx?
Northeast, way like 2 stops away from Cross County. So very close is the freeway to go upstate. But it's as far as you can go in the Bronx, away from the South Bronx, where it gets kind of nice.
Yeah,
I'm at the cusp of it's still hood. There's still shit here, but it's also real nice right there. You know what I mean?
It's so funny because you say the Bronx, and then everyone's like, ugh. And there is that one part of the Bronx that is like one of the wealthiest enclaves in the East Coast, pretty much. So you have the South Bronx, and then you go north, and it's like, another one. Yeah. Okay. I'm assuming, because I can't find, I have done so much research on you and I cannot find any shit about your fucking childhood. It's so annoying. But did you?
I'm not famous. That's why.
Yeah, but you do interviews and you are famous. True. Shut up. Did you go to public school, I assume?
I went to Catholic school for 12 years. No way. Uniform girl, 12 years.
Wow. Was your family religious?
No, they were just strict. Everybody in Jamaica went to private school where you had to wear a uniform, you learn about God in addition to all that shit. So when they came out here, they were like, well, it's the same thing. So they put me in private school immediately just because that's what they do.
Is your sister younger or older?
She is 11 years younger than me.
What?
Yeah, I remember asking my parents for a sister or anything for so long. And by the time they decided, all right, fine, I was like, I have my period now. I don't need this anymore.
Right.
I got got my period, discovered boys in my titties, and I'm like, oh, damn it. I'm going to have a sibling.
Wow. That's so,
Yeah,
why
but-
do you think they waited so long? Just,
They didn't want. My father, I think now that I've been looking back at my how my father used to behave. I think he was like a little bit of manic depressed kind of dude. Because he complained my whole life about money and not having it and didn't make enough and I'm too much of a burden. The whole family, he can't do it all himself.
Right.
So I think it came from all that. He's always been kind of like, I just can't do this. But he did
Right.
it, you know.
He did
it every day of my life until he passed.
So you're 11. I don't know, but I always think parents shouldn't have kids when the kid is old enough to know how the parents had the kid. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah. And so you're 11. So you were an only child for like 11 years.
A long time. Yeah, very spoiled. I was raised by my mother, father, and my aunt. So I had like two mommies because
Right.
she lived with us our whole life.
What's her name?
Her name is Shirley.
Aunt Shirley. And she never got
Yep.
married?
She allegedly, I heard years ago in Jamaica, she was going to get married and found out that he was already married to somebody else.
What a fucking asshole.
So she has been, in my opinion, kind of anti-men and relationships her whole life. And she's 80-something years old now.
Maybe she's a Leslie. She could be a Leslie.
I have thought about it and I have done
Really?
some research and I still have no conclusions, but I'm still,
Wow. So Carol and
know.
Shirley live together.
Yes.
Oh, I could never.
And I live there because I haven't looked my own place yet, Judy. Help.
I know. We're getting there.
Okay.
Okay. So, you go to school. Are you popular? What are you into? Are you a good student?
Horrible grades from kindergarten. I only tried really hard to make first honor roll because I thought I'm like, I can't be dumb. It's not, I'm dumb.
Right.
So I put the effort in and I made first honor roll only 1 year of my life.
Just to prove to yourself.
Just to prove that I could. And when I realized that I could, I went right back to C's. And I was a C student, C, negative B, C student, or B minus C student for my whole life, all through law school, everything. But I was funny.
Yeah, funny, which is a sign of intelligence. But
yes,
were your teachers writing, she has such potential and yeah, I got
Oh my God, if I could find these report cards, talks too much, not working to her potential. And all I thought when
easily distracted, yeah.
Oh my God, distract other students around her.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's called an audience, bitch. Watch your mouth.
I remember when I used to go to parent-teacher conferences with my ex and our son Ben. This is the Jew bell, by the way. Anything Jewish, I ring a bell. Anyway, so we would go to parent-teacher conferences, and Henry just never, he was like, would just lie about doing his work. But Ben and Henry, we'd go to the conference and the teacher would be like, Ben is an excellent student. He brings so much to the class. He participates, but he distracts the other students and he makes jokes. It's just not right. And one of the teachers said, and sometimes the jokes are things I would laugh at, and it's really hard for me. And my ex is like, he's in trouble. I can't believe it. And I was like, oh my God, that's so great. Oh. So she would yell at him, and I'd be like, oh my God, that's so hilarious, Ben. That's great. Good for you. But it's so funny because there's so many different kinds of intelligences. I don't know if that's a word, but and yet they don't measure that. They measure, and probably in Catholic school it's so strict. Were they religious, your parents?
No, my father never stepped foot in church outside of his wedding. My mom did go to church every Sunday, pretty much on or off, and they forced me to go to Sunday school. So I was raised. I went to Catholic school. I went to a Presbyterian church, and I was confirmed there. But as soon as I turned 18, I stopped all denominational.
Right.
And I just do God now.
So in high school, did you go to a Catholic high school?
Yes, Catholic high school. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And you said you mentioned somewhere that you mentioned you went to the prom in an interview I saw.
Oh.
how do you do that? You go with was it all girls in your school?
No, co-ed,
okay.
and I truly believe my prom date was gay.
Really? Have you spoken to him?
Not since my 20s, I don't think. But when I saw him again after a break, everything about him said, oh,
yeah. Yeah, but that would be only a gay guy would be able to deal with, your humor and having fun with you, right?
I mean,
in high school.
Yeah, gay men and I are great friends, but
yes.
every time I meet one, I'm just like, I love you, but...
I know, same. But you don't want to fuck him with those fingernails.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with a Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
You graduate high school. Do you do any extracurricular? Are you sporty? Nothing in the play? Nothing.
I tried out for basketball. They didn't let me, so they let me run the scoreboard. That was it. But no, singing. I did do choir stuff in elementary school. In high school, I was really just chasing boys and being funny and hanging out with my friends. I'm surprised I didn't know how to read because I really did not apply myself. In high school was a 4-year game for me. I really did not focus at all. I just had good friends. We joked around.
Did you smoke pot and drink and all that? Nothing. Wow.
I didn't fuck, didn't drink, didn't smoke. I was just in high school hanging out.
Wow.
Yeah. I tried to have sex and stuff, but boys just didn't. They love hanging out with me, but they wouldn't hit on me for real.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, but you're so pretty. All right. So anyway, I'm moving my notebook over here because look at all these notes I have on you. Okay.
Oh, yeah, you're the only one that's never done that. That's amazing.
I do this. This podcast is a labor of love, but I love people's stories, and I have had so many interviews where they don't do anything. Like they're like, "How'd you get into comedy? And what's it like to be?" And I'm like, "No, that's not no."
Or you got to ask, what is it like to be a woman in comedy?
Yeah, it's just so fucking annoying. Okay. So, you go to college. Where did you go to college? I couldn't find that. I know where you went to law school.
Yeah, I went to Iona College. A 2-year program, and then I went to City College, CUNY in Manhattan.
CUNY, very good school. Okay. And you didn't know what you wanted to do, but you would watch Ryan's Hope.
Yep.
You were addicted to the soap opera Ryan's Hope, which what was the other one that Luke and Laura? Oh, General Hospital.
Oh yeah, I was never a General girl. I'm the one who didn't do General. I don't know why.
Oh, I remember when Luke and Laura got married. I was a freshman in college, and we all we got dressed up, and it was like a big we were obsessed with Luke and Laura again. All right, anyway, and now you look at them, yeah.
I was all my children. That was my thing. And then after that, I had to turn them off and do something else.
Right. But you loved Ryan's Hope. And there was a character named Jillian who was a lawyer.
Yep.
And you were like, oh, she's sassy. She's got confidence.
Yeah.
That's how you realized you wanted to be a lawyer.
I was that young. I remember I was like, it's fun what she's doing and arguing. And then I started to find things law related, took classes in high school and stuff. And decided, okay, I'm going to be an attorney. And, that fueled the interest, and so did Law and Order. But TV did it.
Oh, yeah, Law and Order. But I agree because, Henry, my son Henry, we always thought he was going to be a lawyer because he was obsessed with Law and Order. And he would watch them 2 times and then try to figure out, and wouldn't watch the end until he figured out who, Mental. And we always thought he was going to be a lawyer. But like you, he liked to hang out and be with his friends. Okay. You go to college and you then afterwards become a paralegal, correct?
Yes.
And which is another degree, right? Because my sister became a paralegal, and she had to take another test or something.
No, in California, you have to be certified to be a paralegal. You got the courses and whatever.
Right.
In New York, they had no requirement. I had a college degree, and I got a hookup from a lady who worked there. So that was how I ended up at like this fat ass law firm.
Yes. So you end up at this fat ass law firm.
Yep.
First of all, I want to ask how your father felt when you got that job. I mean, he must have been like, my daughter, I did it. I did what I came here to do.
Oh, yeah. I was always, I don't know where it came from, but I've always been like, even though I didn't get good grades, I was always like, well, I got to finish. I got to get the diploma. I got to get the degree. I've always been driven to do shit. It's just a matter of what do I excel at? I have to like it. And I realize it now. But back then, I'm like, I'm always working. I have always had a job. Retail, whatever, but I'm always going to be busy, but I may not excel at it unless I enjoy it. That's the problem.
So you get this paralegal job.
Yep.
And you are working in an office and in this big law firm, and you're the only person of color. Is that correct? Or the only woman paralegal or the
outside of the guys in the mailroom, I'm the only person of color.
Right.
For the first couple of years of my being a paralegal, even the lawyers, it was just me and a lot of financially well-off Caucasian people in this big ass law firm.
Right. And you said that there are 3 Black women in your personality at that office.
Yep.
Jackie, who's like, yes, I'll get that done. Right.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm Jacqueline, my parents' daughter.
Right.
And then I'm Jaquisha, the girl from the Bronx she's always there. No matter how professional I am, who I'm around, I'm like, if you push that little button, Jaquisha will be like, who the fuck? That kind of thing.
I really wanted to ask you, you are in this white entitled male office. What did you learn? Like, what did you get from that? What did you learn and what did you take with you from being surrounded by, these entitled, well-educated, well-off. And when I say entitled, they're entitled. They don't have to fight for their rights. If you don't have to march for anything, you're entitled. If you're, you know what I mean? If you start with, a big pile of money or supportive parent, you're the daughter of immigrants.
Yeah.
Surrounded by like these other people. What did you get from that experience?
I think that experience, it gave me a lot of self-doubt, a lot of insecurity, but also a lot of confidence. It gave me confidence and self-doubt at the same time. Like, I'm good enough to work with whomever. Right. But I also struggled the whole time with, do I deserve to be as rich as these dudes? And, I remember the females, the white females, they always had a Tiffany bracelet or pearls, and they lived in someplace great, and they went to an Ivy League school. So I always had this inadequacy, like, am I smart enough to go to Ivy League? Will I ever have a Tiffany? I was always kind of like that. And it made me feel less than, and like, but I got to get out of here, because that's why I wanted to be a lawyer. I was tired of being a paralegal because I was always the assistant. I was always the peon.
And you were all doing all their work. Like, I know paralegals do all the fucking work.
And not well. On top of that. So I didn't do it well, but I wanted to do it because I didn't want to be their assistant. I wanted to be in charge. So I'm like, well, to do that, I have to leave and go to law school. So I remember I worked at Latham & Watkins as a paralegal, and I was fucking up. I was horrible. I was going to get fired eventually. But I applied for all these law schools all around the country. They all said no, because I'm a horrible test taker, right? So the one
same.
Yeah.
I had like straight A's and horrible SAT scores.
See? Me too. My SAT was like, my SAT, I remember, I think it was a 600 or maybe the LSAT. I don't remember, but it's so bad.
Right.
Like, you want to get me like extra help bad. So I was at this law firm, and I forgot what I was saying. God, I got caught up.
No, just being the self-doubt and all these other white women who were just like
Yeah, I felt
you wanted to be the lawyer instead of
It made me feel like the dream was on that side, and then the real world was on that side, and I had no right to be like, can I have both? And I think I've been.
Do you think that's a woman thing, or do you think that's a child of immigrants?
I think it's a woman thing, immigrant thing, and a culture and color thing.
Yes.
And the culture thing, because I a lot of women at the firm, but they were always, I don't know, there were a lot of women, but they always seemed the most tired, the most overworked, the most incapable of, mentoring me and giving me help, because they were always like on the partner route. So they would be like, if I'm going to make partner, I got to work 14-hour days and blah, blah, blah. The men were more cash and more go to the gym,
because they deserve it. We deserve it. It's owed to us. Brett Kavanaugh. You know what I'm talking about. I don't know. I mean, I know what it's like. And I think we're similar in this way, because the stuff I've read about you is basically, I share with you the adverse feelings or not wanting to be bored, wanting to use my brain, wanting to be stimulated. So there's that. And then there's that not belonging. Like, I worked in an office too. Like, I remember you were, at one of your interviews, you said something about, all these comics talking about, oh, I'm living in my car and I have no money. And, you always worked. And I always had a job. I had a job until I could live on my own. Making, I was middling and I was making like $750 a week. And it was like, okay, I can, but I did, I typeset, I did all this shit to make enough money to have health insurance and pay my bills. And it's being a responsible, but I remember, person, but I remember being in an office, and I'm not Black at all. And I always, I as a gay, I always, I had a secret, in the 80s when I was working in an office, and I always felt uncomfortable. And I always was like, oh my God, if they only knew, and I have to fake that I'm this and I have to fake that I'm that. And I always think about, and I really don't want to be patronizing at all, but I always think, what is it like to, walk in a room and be the only person of color? Like, and it happens so often. It happens way too much. It's like you walk in, like I can act like when I'm 25, I'm not gay and fit in, Yeah. But to be in an office or in anything, walk in a deli, walk in a, it's just, I can't, I try to think about what it feels like, and I can't. I mean, I can a little bit, but it's just like I have such respect for you.
Thank you. You know what I think? I think if I were to like really, really, really give it credit, I would say I've probably been a comedian my whole life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that has helped me having all personality.
Coping mechanism. Right.
That has helped me cope through all the, I'm the only, do I deserve? How will I get out of here? How can how do I think I have the right to even want these things when nobody in my family has it?
Right.
So I think being a comedian gives you the ability to be like, look, everywhere I'm going to walk in is going to be, I might stand out. How can I stand out and make myself feel comfortable and you all comfortable also?
Right. That's the thing. You give them that's the power of comedy. This week's episode of It's Judy Show with Judy Gold is sponsored by BetterHelp. And if you know me, which I think you do because you're listening to my podcast right now, you know that I am a big advocate for therapy. I think it benefits everyone. I think there's so many people who need it, who don't partake. It is so important for your emotional health and well-being. Therapy is fantastic. It is in every stretch of the imagination. And if you're thinking of starting therapy, please do it. But please give BetterHelp a try. It is entirely online. It's designed to be convenient. It's flexible. It suits your schedule. You fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. I have switched therapists in my life. I've had many, many therapists, and sometimes it's not a great fit for you, but don't give up. Therapy is beneficial. You can learn about yourself. You can process and just be emotionally healthy. I'm telling you, do it. BetterHelp is great because, when I used to schlep to my therapist's office, It was so annoying. You have to do it, and you sit there and you wait. And then I'm telling you, doing it online is fantastic. And BetterHelp is amazing. I know a lot of people who've used it. So if you're thinking about therapy, go to betterhelp.com. Let the gratitude flow. This is gratitude month, people. So you need to let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/JudyGold, JudyGold, today, and you will get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JudyGold. You're welcome. You get into Trinity Law School in California, which is the only, you said was the only law school that would let you in.
There was another one. Whittier. Okay, I took the whatever test, and Whittier Law School in Orange County, California said, you can come here, but you have to take a test after a week worth of whatever course. If you pass this test, you can stay at this school. And they were a really big American Bar Association.
Yes.
And I took the test, failed it, and then Trinity was like, okay, we heard, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe I called, I don't know.
Right.
You can come here. So they were, they're not ABA. They're only accredited in California.
Right.
And I could have, I don't know why, looking back, I didn't pack my shit and be like, just forget Cali and go back to New York.
Right.
But I was so tired of New York. I was sick. I was my whole life on the train. I was just tired, and I just wanted to live somewhere where it was warm and my life would be different. I was tired of the hustle and bustle of New York. At 29, I'm like, I'm done with this.
So you stayed in New York until you were 29, and then went completely to the opposite side of the country.
To go. And I was dating someone who wouldn't marry me, so I was also like,
fuck him.
There's no reason for me to stay in New York.
Right.
My family was fine. So I just left. And
did they give you their blessing when they?
I don't remember, because no one came to see me when I was there. They only came to my law school graduation. Nobody in my family paid me any mind the 20 years that I was in Cali. And to this day, I'm still angry about it. I'm going to be in therapy about this forever. Like, no one.
Did they call you? Did they?
Yeah, all the time. And they call, and they would be mad when I didn't call, and they would send me money and stuff. But I'm like, it's Cali. It's not Afghanistan. You all can come down here. Right. And they refused. They probably were. And there's probably always the animosity that I left, which you can't care about.
Abandoned. Yeah.
So, that's the way it's always been.
I love your independence. Okay. So you graduate, and you don't take the bar.
No, I don't know why. I just scared to take the bar. Right. Self-esteem issues, all kind of issues. I'm bad. I'm like, if I think I'm a bad test taker, why in the fuck would I take the world's hardest exam?
Yeah.
In a state where they say is one of the hardest tests to pass.
Right.
So, Judy, that is the one thing that I still want to do, though.
You have a regret. Do you have... Okay, this is going to be the weirdest question I ask you, but gotcha. Do you have dreams about taking the bar? Like,
yes,
because...
I'm going to, at some point.
No, dreams when you're sleeping.
Oh, yes, all the time.
Okay, because doesn't compare, but I was a music major in college, and I had this music history class, and I loved it. And it was a really interesting class. And I remember it was my senior year, and there was a final paper, and I just didn't do it. And I got like an empty grade. So I went to him. I'm like, I got to graduate, and he said, oh, well, I was waiting to see if you would hand in your paper. I would have given you an A. So I'll just give you a B. And I was like, okay. And I still to this day feel guilty. I still want to write the paper. I don't even know it's about comparing two symphonies to each other. And for years, dreams about not finishing something. Oh, so it's like, and it's so interesting that you were like, I have to finish something. I have to finish things. And you didn't finish that.
That's the one thing, the biggest thing I've tried to do, I didn't finish. I am a lawyer. When you get a JD, you're a lawyer. But I want to be a badass attorney. And my list is long. I would love to add attorney to like number 3.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
I gotta have the money and the time and the patience to sit still and study for 2 months nonstop and not be tempted to go out and, all this shit.
Well, it's not like you had that time during the pandemic. Anyway.
I did. Judy, I ordered a review course during the pandemic and signed up for all kind of shit. Because I'm like, I am going to take this motherfucker. I have time. And when I tell you I paid God knows how much for this course that I still can take now because it's free forever when you give me thousands of dollars. Yeah. And I didn't do it during the quarantine, and I plan to.
Oh, please. I had so much shit I was doing during the quarantine. Nothing. Because you know why I think it is? Because like you, I never stop. And it was the first time it was like, good. Everything halted. I was like, wait, so I'm going to eat dinner and then stay at home? And
every day.
Wait, what do you do? So you watch TV and read and just hang? Oh, like I had no idea. I've been doing stand-up since I'm 19. Like I have no idea how people live.
I know.
So you then worked at Caltech in Pasadena. Is that correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you started doing stand-up. All right. There's multiple different sources that I've gone through here. One is, I know you took Judy Carter's comedy class.
Yes.
Okay.
Shout out Judy Carter.
Yes. Shout out Judy Carter. Wait. And also, you were doing stand-up at night at the Improv in LA, 2005. Yeah. But I love this story. You went to the Brea Improv to see Monique.
Oh, yeah.
And afterwards, you were standing online with everyone and saying, oh, big fan. And you said to her, Monique, I'm such a big fan. Oh, she's not Jewish, whatever. Monique, such a big fan. And she was so nice. And you said, and I'm a comedian. And she said, oh, good. Do you want to do some time?
Yep.
And you opened for Monique the next 2 nights.
Yeah. I did a set on her show at the Improv. Yep.
I mean, fucking A. That's what I call sisterhood. That is what I fucking call sisterhood.
Oh, yeah. Because we were a hole in the wall, and she's like, "You want to do some time?" And I was like, I almost cried, like right there, like, "Of course I do." Yeah.
We need more of that because they've set up the system so that there's only room for one of us, and we need to support each other. Women need to do the same shit the guys do, where they get something big and then they bring all their fucking friends along.
Fucking friends along.
Yeah. You also were married. Is that correct?
For 8 months.
I need to know a little bit more about that.
He's the boyfriend I had when I lived in New York, when I was here before I moved, for between 7 and 9 years.
Right.
I met him in college, and for the first 3 or 4 years, like I really, madly in love, but then I fell out of love. But I stayed with him because I was very comfortable, very safe. He was a big, strong, scary dude, so I felt great. But then when I started getting growing pains, I'm like, well, you won't marry me. Why will I stay here? And I moved to Cali, and he followed me. It was very dramatic soap opera. Don't leave. How are you? I'm like, I told you I was leaving. He didn't believe. Right. He and my family did not know I was leaving. So when I went to Cali, of course, I had all the remorse, and I missed him, and the phone calls, and he chased me, and we came out here. And then he's like, he proposed on me when he came out to Cali, and I'm like, all right, well, we might as well. We've been together all this time, not realizing it was already over. But because I was lonely and missed him and blah, blah, blah. We eloped at the Little Church of the West in Vegas. I'm in Vegas now, so it's probably down the street. And we eloped, and then after we eloped, I had this incredible feeling of buyer's remorse of why did I get
What did he do for a living?
He passed the bar. He went to Brooklyn Law School. He was also a dean of elementary school in the South. Upstanding citizen, star athlete, skipped many grades, very smart, and he had street sensibility. So he had the mixture of the hood and the book smart.
Right.
And he was 6'4" and gorgeous. But I fell out of love. I was with him too long. How you're really young and you stick with one person because you're
yes, because you think you're never going to get anyone else, and this is it, and don't let it go. So did he come out to California and stay?
He came out. No, he didn't. right before he was about to get a job out here and got out there and moved back, is when I divorced him. I divorced him by myself at my immigration law firm job where I used to work. No money. We had no money, assets, or kids. So a divorce when you have nothing is actually quite
easy.
simple. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I understand now why you are upset with your family, because God, you went through so much shit by yourself.
Yeah, well, you know, immigrants, I think people overall over a certain generation, they just don't deal with emotional intelligence. They're just like, look, we just need to eat and keep this house.
Right. That's absolutely true. And then you have feelings and you're like, oh, I can't talk about this with them because I know.
I remember I said to my mother during the lockdown, like, Mom, you don't understand. I might lose my mind. Like, I can't not perform, and I don't want to do the job I've had. I'm depressed. And she was like, you know, depressed. Jesus, you're not depressed. What are you depressed about? You're sick, you're happy, and you have money, and you work, and you're pretty, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, that is not the way mental health work. But, you know, you can't. They
don't understand. I remember... I think I've told the story. I went through a very bad clinical depression.
Okay.
And like to the point I couldn't speak. Someone said, go get a carton of milk at the corner. I'd be like, I can't leave. It was really bad. And I would call my mother, and we're pro mental health. My parents went to therapy. Everyone goes to therapy, you know.
Yeah.
And it was such a bad depression. And I would call her up, and every day she would say, are you better? Are you better? Are you better? Are you better? Are you better today? Are you better? And I'm like, Ma, no, okay? Thank you so much for listening to part 1 of Kill Me Now with the one and only Jackie Fabulous. How fabulous. I know, you knew I was going to say that. Well, whatever. So funny, so great, so interesting. I love her. Kill Me Now is produced by Laura Vogel, edited by Colin Schmaling. And everything else, marketing, whatever, everything else having to do with this podcast in my life is done and gets done because of Brittany Jo Sowards. If you have not subscribed and left a review, I hate your guts, because then more people can find it and I can keep doing it. I know I keep threatening you, but it might be more than a threat, okay? Because I need to be successful in my podcast. My book, yes, I can say that, is everywhere. So you should have read it. If not, get the audiobook. I know you're traveling with your family. There's some curse words, but it's a great audiobook. So yes, I can say that when they come for the comedians, we're all in trouble. Also, you can check me out online. Well, at judygold.com, you can see what I'm doing, where I'm doing it. I am in Provincetown at the Art House every Tuesday and Wednesday until August 31st, 7:30 p.m. So get your asses there if you're on the Cape. I'm going to be at Camp Rehoboth in Rehoboth Beach, Labor Day weekend. I'm very excited. The big gala on September 3rd. And then I am going to be signing books at Browse About Books on the 4th. So if you're in the Rehoboth area, get your asses there. What else is going on? I can't believe that motherfucker isn't in jail. I can't believe what's going on in this country, but I'm going to be positive. You know, I am not going to be positive. You know, we all need to laugh, and laughter is important, but can you fucking believe what's going on in this country? I know I say that all the time, but it really is irritating. Summer's almost over, which I hate. I really hate it. I love the summer. I love the beginning of the summer because I know it's going to be summer, and then at the end of the summer, I'm like, fuck, it's not going to be summer anymore, and then I get upset, which is mainly means that I need to move to a warmer climate in the wintertime, like most old Jews. So I don't know, that's it. I don't know what else to tell you. I could ramble on, but why bother? You have lives. So I want to say thank you for listening. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Judy Gold, JEWDYGOLD. And thank you for your love and support. I love you. I mean it. I really love doing the podcast and doing research, but it takes up a lot of my time. So you've got to tell people about it so I can make some dinero. All All right, that's it. I don't know what else to tell you. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the last 2 weeks of summer. And as we always say, so long.